Hey everyone, flexicraft here. Today I'm sharing something really special, a full behind-the-scenes journey of how I created my custom Miles Morales Spider-Man figure, from a simple 2D sketch all the way to a 3D printable model, and even the final test print. Let's dive in. Before I even touch any 3D software, I always start with a sketch, to get the concept, proportions, and color palette. So I began with a rough thumbnail sketch. Nothing fancy, just basic gesture and form to get the idea out of my head and onto the page. Before I even touch any 3D software, I always start with a sketch. It's an essential part of my workflow, kind of like laying the foundation before you build a house. It helps me explore the concept, understand the proportions, and define the overall visual identity, including things like the color palette and silhouette. So I began with a rough thumbnail sketch, nothing detailed or polished. Just a quick, loose drawing to capture the initial idea. The goal at this point isn't perfection, but expression. I want to get the concept out of my head and onto the page as quickly as possible, focusing on gesture, form, and basic shapes. Once I'm happy with the gesture and the overall energy of the sketch, I move into clean line work. This is the part where I start refining the shapes and making clearer decisions about the design. I focus on defining things like the shape of the mask, the proportion of the limbs, and the overall silhouette. I also map out details like the web pattern, all the little elements that will eventually feed into the 3D sculpt. After that, I jump into blocking out the base colors. I usually keep things faithful to the reference or inspiration, in this case the Spider-Verse style, with that iconic deep black suit and the red highlights. But I also like to play around a bit at this stage, trying out lighting setups, rim lights, or gradients to push the drama and mood of the piece. These lighting cues help guide me later during the sculpting and rendering stages. It's not just about making the sketch look cool or polished, it's a strategic step that lets me think ahead about how I'll tackle the 3D sculpt. I start identifying where the main focal points are, how I might break the character into parts for printing, and how to handle things like overhangs or support structures. And honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole process. There's something really satisfying about just sitting down with a pen and sketch pad, watching the idea come to life from nothing. It's pure creativity, just you and the vision. And that wraps up the full process, from 2D sketch to a fully 3D printed Miles Morales figure. If you'd like to print it yourself, the files are available now on Cults 3D. You'll find the link and all the details in the description and pinned comment. You can also use the code in the description to get 10% off for all your purchases. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your print if you try it out.